you as a doctor give hope and health to many each day, there are many more to give hope and health to. And with Fujifilm, we are doing that together.
And for the next lecture, I would like to invite Dr. Bhavna Dev. Ma'am is professor in charge of women's imaging section and lead radiologist, breast imaging and intervention at Sri Ramchandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. Her main area of interest is breast imaging and interventions, MR guided focused ultrasound, as well as MSK interventions. She is treasurer for Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry State Chapter of IRIA and joint secretary and general council member for Breast Imaging Society of India. We welcome you, ma'am, and she'll be talking about the value of 3D tomosynthesis in the detection of breast cancers. Over to you, ma'am. Yeah, we can see your screen. You're muted, I think, ma'am. We can't hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. It's audible. And screen is also shared.
Okay. So thank you for me being here today, Dr. Shilpa. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks the entire team. So we have been listening to lots of good things, and Dr. Nikita's lecture was a very heavy lecture for us, and then Swati spoke about the new innovations, what the machine can give us. So I will be speaking on a 3D tomosynthesis, which is actually a need of an hour, okay? And how it is useful and how it has made our life, easy for the breast imagers. It has really made our life easy. We will see it in a bit of a time. So, basically, evolution of X-ray mammogram, we know that, the younger generation wouldn't have seen, when a radiographer used to take an X-ray in the X-ray mammogram machine, and they used to go to the dark room and process the film. After that, we went on to CR, a computerized radiography, where you had to, where there was a film reader, you had to take a cassette, and the film reading was done in that reader. Then, with the advent of digital radiography, okay, or full-field digital mammography, when it came, it really had a big impact on reading the mammograms, because as the name says, digital, so we could, alter the contrast with our hands, as you see on, we see it in CTs and MRs, we can change the contrast. So it was really revolutionary. Okay, but then, at the end of the day, what happens is everybody wants the best. Okay, we want something new or something, better coming up. Though there was a lot of difference between from CR to DR, okay, when the full field digital mammography came. Howsoever, in the breasts which were having ACR density C or D, okay, they could hide the tumors within. Okay, and this high density breasts, okay, they have, all of us know that they have 6 to 8 times more chances of having cancer within them. So which, led to an evolution of tomosynthesis. So this is a bit about, before we go to, tomosynthesis, what it is, we should know what is digital mammogram. Basically, conventional digital mammogram or full field mammography is when, you have a X-rays coming up, and this is a breast. You have 2 lesions here, okay, and we get a good image, but we have a superimposition of these 2 images, because it is a 2D representation of a 3D structure, which is a breast. So this is a digital mammogram, okay. So what happens is, so as I was telling you, there are a lot of limitations of this 2D mammography or full field digital mammography, because there is an anatomical noise, okay. There will always be an overlapping tissue, okay, which we think, okay, it might be a lesion or it might not be a lesion. And due to the increased breast density, there are 20% of cancers will be missed. And, we have to recall the patients for additional workup. So basically, when we have a 2D, you can create a mass due to the overlapping of a tissue, or it can hide a mass. Okay. So to, to overcome this problem, okay, the next step was tomosynthesis. Now, breaking the word tomo and synthesis. So basically, tomo is like cross section, and synthesis is generating a volume data. This is the basic meaning of tomosynthesis. This word means this. Okay. So what we do is, as you can see, in tomosynthesis, as we saw in digital mammogram, the X-ray tube does not move. Okay, but in tomosynthesis, the X-ray tube moves like this. Okay, in an arc, and it can move like this, as you are seeing. So what we get is, we get a number of images. Okay, we get a volume of a thing, and from this volume, as you can see, we get a volume of these images. Then we can reconstruct from this volume a millimeter thickness cuts, or even 0.5 mm thickness cuts, whatever is our requirement. Okay, we can go up to 0.5 mm also, we can do 2 mm also, but generally in most of the machines, it is we reconstruct into 1 mm slices. Okay, so this is what is the difference between the digital tomosynthesis and digital breast imaging, that is full field digital mammography, which is 2D analysis of a 3D volume. And in digital breast tomosynthesis, we get a volume, and we get a depth to the tissue. This, as you can see in this movie, in this picture, we have a depth to the tissue. So we have given the third dimension to the breast. Okay, we have created a volume. So through this volume, now we can cut thinner sections. Okay, we can study the breast. Okay, as you can see, layer by layer, thickness is 1 millimeter. Okay, 1 millimeter to 1 millimeter. So you can imagine that it will not be possible to miss the lesions. Another one very simple way of remembering is, if you have a loaf of bread, let's take, this is the volume of the images you obtain. Okay, and then you have this, you cut the bread into different sections, 1 millimeter thickness cuts. So imagine if there was a lesion here. Okay, there is a chance, if you are seeing it as a one image, as a 2D image, you can miss it. Okay, but if you cut it into slices, definitely you will see the lesion where it is. So basically, tomosynthesis is a method to reconstruct multiple slices through a volume. And see, this is the machine. If this is a machine, if it does not move, this is how the digital mammography is, full field digital mammography. And if the tube moves, as you can see here in this movie, the tube is moving. This is how the tomosynthesis is. It takes the cuts section by section, and then it creates a volume, which we reconstruct again through different mechanisms into a thinner slices. So I hope by this I am very clear that what is tomosynthesis. Now this tomosynthesis also has advanced now. It has a standard mode and a high resolution mode. This little bit is very important for us to understand this. That's why I have put this slide. So what happens in a standard mode, which we usually use in most of the patients, because of mainly thing is radiation. So in this, what happens is, as you can see, the angle is smaller. In the standard mode, the angle is smaller. So we have a more depth resolution. Okay, so you will get these two images in this one section, as you can see it here. But if you want a very precise and very detailed image of some lesion, okay, which you are not able to understand, or which you are confused still, you can use a high resolution mode. As you can see, it will give us a thinner section, okay, and will define the lesion more beautifully. But the disadvantage being that it has more radiation as compared to the standard mode. So normally in routine, we use standard mode when we are using tomosynthesis to acquire the images. This is again a small illustration which will make you understand it even better. So this is a simple 2D digital mammogram, full field digital mammogram, where you can see that the lesion, there are two lesions, this black and white, they are both superimposed on each other. Here there is a standard mode. Okay, you can see there is a differentiation, but still there is little bit of overlapping is there. But once you use a wider arc, you have everything so beautifully defined separately. So these are the few things which you should keep in mind when you are learning about tomosynthesis. So now I have this first question for you guys. digital breast tomosynthesis is used as a diagnostic modality, screening modality, both of the above or none of the above. Okay, so we have a 48% here which says only as a diagnostic modality, and almost the same 47% which says both of the above. So the answer to this is both of the above. So digital breast tomosynthesis is used as a screening as well as a diagnostic modality. How and what are the uses? Let's see it. So DBT, digital breast tomosynthesis, is useful in screening as well as in diagnostic setup. In screening, what happens? Actually, it is more useful in screening. What happens is it increases the cancer detection rate. Okay, and then other thing which it does is reduces the recall rate. Okay, when we are sure, we sometimes what we see in 2D is pseudo masses, okay, which is not a real mass. Okay, and we recall the patient for different modalities like ultrasound, MR, and compressed view and whatever we want to do. So it reduces the recall rate. And in diagnostic setup, what it does is it tells us the lesion characteristics even more better in a better way. What I mean is it shows to the margins beautifully. It can show you the size of the lesion accurately. It can show you the extent of the lesion accurately, and then it shows also associated findings as well as if you have multiple other lesions or additional lesions in the breast. So, and lots of studies, numerous studies have come up which have shown, there is how tomosynthesis is useful than only 2D imaging or full-field digital mammography. In this very known to Oslo, Norway DBT screening trial, they have shown that, there is cancer detection rate of invasive cancers increased to 27%. Okay, and so you can imagine how much of the more cancers we have found, when we have started using tomosynthesis. Another study published in JAMA also said that recall rate decreased by 15% and cancer detection rate increased by 41%. So with these two common, like there are numerous studies which have been published now, but I'm just telling you that, and the results are as good as these two. So the point of showing you these two studies is that, with the use of tomosynthesis, okay, we are attaining what we actually need to attain. We are picking up early breast cancers. We are picking up smaller breast cancers, which are as small as, 3 to 4 millimeters and which are node negative. So I'll be sharing some clinical studies with you, how useful the Tomo can be. So this is a 49-year-old screening lady came for screening mammogram. So you can see it is breast density C, or some people can even put it into D. But you see it's such a we don't know what is where. Okay, so much of breast over tissue overlapping is there. Though we can see one lesion, over lesion here. Okay, but otherwise it looks like a very, very dense breast, and we really don't know what is hidden behind this. Okay, so when we subject these kind of images, okay, these kind of breast to tomosynthesis, see what happens. This is a 2D image. This is a right breast. So this is a 2D image. Now you see the tomosynthesis, the slices will run, and you will start seeing so many things inside when your tissue, which is overlapping, okay, gets removed. You see the cyst so beautifully. You see cyst here, okay, and other things are getting clearer that it is only a normal breast tissue which is being overlapped. Same thing, you can see it in medial lateral oblique view. You can see a cyst beautifully here, and rest of the things are just the breast parenchyma is just, spacing out and showing us that there is no cancers hidden behind it. Similarly, if you see the left breast, again, it looks like, a dense, very dense breast, and what is behind this tissue, we don't know. So these kind of things, sometimes they are nightmares, okay, especially if the patient has a, positive family history, and definitely I would like to know what is, hidden behind this. So once we do tomosynthesis, the overlapping tissue gets clearer, as you can see, and there are few cysts, like you can see here, they're seen beautifully, okay, the margins are seen beautifully, well defined, clear, so that everything becomes clearer that there are few benign lesions which are underlying this dense breast parenchyma. So this is what the tomosynthesis helps us in seeing the structures behind these dense breasts. Now coming to this case, okay, she also came for routine screening with second, yeah, with no family history, and she has no priors. Okay, so you can see this, though this is not a dense breast. Okay, and you all can ignore this asymmetry. That's fine. You can all ignore this asymmetry, but let's try to find out where are the lesions. Okay, now I will have a question. This is a second question for you. Which breast has a lesion? Okay, so we have 64% people who are telling it's in the left breast. Okay, and some of them are telling both in C. Okay, now let's see what happens and where is the lesion. Okay, I think the people who have stored left breast, most of the people, they meant this is the lesion. Anybody who sees this breast, okay, this mammogram, will definitely say that yes, this is the lesion. And I won't say that by seeing a 2D image you are incorrect. But how the tomo helps us, let's see this. Okay, so let's see the first, our left breast. So what happens is, all of us thought this is a 2D image and we thought this is a lesion. So now once we run tomo, you can see that what is happening, this is just an overlapping tissue. There is nothing lying behind this. There is no lesion. It is a pseudo mass. So see how beautifully the tomo has made me confident to say this, that there is no lesion here. Okay, and the similar thing I would show you in MLO view also. You think this is a mass, and now let's see what happens on tomo. See, it's just an overlapping tissue, and it's just going away when we go through back and forth through these slices. So there is no lesion in the left breast. It was just a pseudomass, which is made clear by tomo that it is just a superimposed tissue. And now this is the right breast. Okay, so as I told all of you, just forget about this area. Okay, now see, this is a 2D image, and I will run the tomos. See here. What do you see here? There is a lesion there. Okay, and if you see retrospectively, there is something out here too. But tomo has made it so clear and so clearly visible that there is something there. What is the diagnosis is a little bit later. Okay, we will talk about it. We don't want to, though this was a radial scar, but we don't want to talk about this now. So let's say tomo has found this lesion over here, which was completely, unmasked by this 2D image. Similarly here, I cannot see anything. I absolutely cannot see anything. And when you run the tomo sorry. Yeah, when we run the tomo, so see, we see it again, and we will see it clearly. See, there it is. It is seen even more better than CC view. So this is how tomo helps us in the lesions which are hiding behind the superimposed tissue, and when the superimposed tissue is a pseudomass, it's not a real case, as we have seen in this patient. Another patient, a 41-year-old, came for routine screening. We can see clearly here that, there is a lesion here, and here in the MLO view, I can just see the calcification, and with the help of calcification, I can say, okay, this is a lesion over here. So when we run through tomo, okay, what happens is, it is showing me, it is, defining the borders of the lesion very clearly, as you can see here. Similarly, if you see on the MLO view, which we were not able to see at all, lesion is seen so beautifully, and you can see here two eyes, okay. radiolucent eyes, which is fat. So even, you know, if this is a fibroadenoma, okay, with calcification, let's say it was a malignant lesion, or we were suspecting a malignant lesion. So if you see a fat interspersed within the lesion like this so beautifully, you know, you can at least think that it might be a benign lesion, though all the fat containing lesions are not benign. That is a disclaimer. So in this case, what is happening is it is showing the borders, the margins of the lesion very, very clearly. Okay, so this is how it helps us to see and define the lesions better, the tomo. Another case, this is 41-year-old with a mass in the left breast for 1 month. Okay, all of us can see, obviously, there are so many cysts here. Okay, but when the patient comes and complains about the mass, okay, though you can do an ultrasound, but when you have a tomo, you would like to know if there is anything behind this, okay, or you can even see this. This is little bit partially obscured margins, okay, and even in this cyst, even in this lesion, there are partially obscured margins, and I cannot see what is lying behind this. Though there is vaguely some mass is there in this area, but I cannot see it clearly. So if you run through the tomos, you can define the lesion, see beautifully a well-defined oval lesion with circumscribed margins, multiple, see, even this one is circumscribed, this one is circumscribed. Okay, if you go through slowly and, you know, keep seeing it, because of the want of the time, I have to run little fast. So there are two lesions here, one is here and another is here, overlapped. Okay, so this is how this tomo is making these lesions clear. Similarly, in the, you know, MLO views also, you can see these two lesions which are seen, like, you know, you cannot see anything here. Here you can see there's a one lesion over here, beautifully well circumscribed, and one over here with well-defined margins. So again, once again, the tomo has made it clear that there is an overlapping of two lesions over there, though they are, and it is very clear that they are benign as they're well circumscribed and oval. And on ultrasound, these were all multiple cysts. Now, another patient with a lump in her left breast for 6 months duration. When we look at the 2D, we know there is some mass over here, and there are some lymph nodes which are, you know, not looking normal. There are abnormal lymph nodes over here. So how does tomo help in this to us? Like, you know, though already we are looking at this and we can say, yes, there is some kind of we can give it as a 4B or 4B lesion here. Okay, so in this case, how tomo helped us, or how it will be helpful, is, let's see. So this is a 2D image, this is a tomo, and when we go through tomo, if you see this image, you can see in this that, you know, we have started seeing the spicules so beautifully, okay, all around it. So it is definitely a malignant lesion, okay. And what else the tomo is telling here is, you can actually see the exact size of the lesion, okay, and you can see that the extension of the lesion is up to the posterior part of the breast, here and here. So tomo, in a way, it helps us also to see the extent of the lesions, which, you know, that, you know, are very important in deciding the type of surgery which needs to be done. So see, you can see here there is a thickening of you know, Cooper's ligaments here, and the cancer is going up to the posterior part, and it is actually going into the pectoralis. So to an extent, it tells us that, you know, what is the exact extent of the disease. So even if, you know, MRI is not available everywhere, okay, so, and this can, you know, help the surgeon to plan a type of treatment, or whatever he wants to do, or kind of a surgery he wants to do. So now this is another lady with a history of left breast mass for 1 year. So the question is, how many lesions are seen in the left breast? So most of the people, they have said that, you know, answer is C, 2 lesions. Okay, very good. Some of them have said 1. So there are actually 2 lesions. If you see here, one is here, you are seeing, but on CC view, if you see, there are very clearly seen. One is here and one is here. Okay. So what happens is, this is a definite, all of you know, a very good sign and obvious sign of malignancy, elbowing. Okay. So one lesion is here and one is here. So there are two lesions in this left breast. So now let's see how Tomo helped us in this case. So like, see, a lot of people were not clear whether there are two lesions or one lesion. Okay, but when we go through Tomo, so what happens is you are seeing very beautifully both the lesions here in this section and how nicely they are seen. One lesion is here and spicules are seen here. It's going posteriorly. Another lesion is here with a lot of fibrosis and anchoring. You can see lot of speculations here. So how beautifully, the Tomo is showing these two lesions nicely and clearly. You can see here also the lesion extent also. It is, see, again extending very much posteriorly. This is lesion 1 and another lesion also is seen here. So this is how the Tomo has shown both the lesions, and we are super confident in telling that there are two lesions, okay, and both of them are malignant. So this is how Tomo helps us. Another patient, 67-year-old with the lump in the left breast for 2 years, which is gradually increasing in size. Okay, just ignore this because this is a lymph node. Okay, intramammary lymph node. Look at the left breast. So how Tomo helps? Okay, we know that there is a mass. Okay, there is an irregular, ill-defined, high-density mass lesion here. Again, you can see how beautifully the Tomo depicts the margins of the lesions. See, and again, it is showing the extent of the lesion, which nobody can think that the cancer can extend so posteriorly, and it has gone to the other quadrant of the breast also. Okay, so this is how when you give these kind of images to your surgeons, it is very, very helpful for them, and you also actually with great confidence you can tell the exact extent of the lesions. Okay. Another one now, 56-year-old lady with the right breast lump. So we can see here now, though we are seeing skin thickening here, okay, which is very obvious here, but there is a lot of overlapping of the breast tissue, and I do not see any definite mass in the 2D images. So when we do a Tomo, look at it now. See here, actually the mass lesion is sitting here very posteriorly. Here, okay, and this is all the inflammatory reaction, okay, and which has the cancer has approached up to the skin, and you can see a skin thickening very clearly, and almost the entire quadrant is involved. Okay, so you can see that how nicely this Tomo has depicted that where is the mass and what is the extension of the lesion and the associated findings in this case. Similarly, on this view, you can see here a very sinister looking lesion and all this associated findings along with this. Now this is another case, a 63-year-old right breast lump. You can see, again, we can see that there are multiple lesions here. I'm sorry, there is a lesion which is very highly there is a high density lesion with microlobulated margins. Okay, and when we do a Tomo, it shows us very clearly the microlobulations. So see how beautifully in this case we can see the microlobulations. Microlobulations. Okay, so this is how the Tomo has again you can see that the lesion is extending again beyond what is obviously seen here. Okay, and the lymph nodes are also seen very clearly. So basically, when you do a tomosynthesis in malignant masses or in benign masses, okay, it will make a benign mass look more benign and make you more confident in reporting. Similarly, if you see a malignant lesion, it will make it look more malignant if it is a real lesion, and you will become even more confident in saying that it is a malignant lesion. So basically, it tomosynthesis, it clears the lesions, okay, it clearly tells us what kind of a lesion it is, and it increases our confidence level up to report that lesion correctly. So this calcifications on digital breast mammography has been a questionable thing. So what happens is, we don't see it clearly. This happens because calcifications may be dispersed in 3D space, and viewing them in DBT images may make perception of calcification clusters difficult, as only one or two may be seen in a slice, okay, as it's seen in this picture again. See, when you have a thick slab, okay, when you have a standard mode, you can see the calcifications like this. But if you have a smaller, a smaller area, you might, if you get a thinner section, if you cut through this, you might see only one or two calcifications. You might not get a full cluster or a full expansion of the calcifications. That's why it becomes a problem sometimes. And it usually gives an artifact like this, as it's clearly seen. It gives us a spring-like artifact, as you can see here. Okay, so this is a little bit of problem with tomosynthesis. This is actually seen more beautifully on 2D images, because you can imagine a part of it only, because these are cutting the thin sections, and it will be in a thicker section, this calcification. So when we cut 1 millimeter cuts, we do not get a full cluster of calcifications in that area, one area. So another limitations of, everything which has advantages has limitations. So limitation is increased radiation dose, but that is, as Ms. Swati was telling in the previous lecture, that, because of the synthetic involvement of the synthetic view, this limitation has overcome. And definitely it takes longer to read, because before we used to read only 4 images, and now if there is a 5 centimeter thickness of the breast, so we have to read 50 cuts each breast. Okay, so 200 cuts we have to go through, and it takes a little bit longer time. With the experience, it becomes shorter, but yes, it takes a bit longer than that. And you cannot read it on demand or stat, because you need to have a computer, you need to have a software to put a CD if you really need to run a tomosynthesis image. Not like, previously, if you see one film and you can tell it. And it is still not easily available, and definitely it needs a massive storage requirement. So just to give you a small example, if you do around 10,000 mammograms, 10,000 mammograms per year, and 10,000 tomosynthesis per year, 10,000 mammograms will take 1 terabyte, and this will take about 10 terabytes of space. So space requirement is really a problem. And sometimes, as I told, it can make cancers. So radiation dose, basically current FDA limit of DBT is 3 milligrams, and conventional mammography is 1.5 to 2.5 milligrams each exposure. But if we take a synthetic view, okay, it comes down to the same as it is in the conventional mammography. So it has been taken care of. So basically, what is a synthetic view? It is, we have created a stack of images, as you can see here, and through this stack of images, we will bind them into a one image, which is called a synthetic view. So 3D giving us a one image, it is called a synthetic view, and it is as good as you see in full field digital mammograms. There is no compromise on the reading of the synthetic images. And basically, coming to the end of the lecture, digital breast tomosynthesis allows us to see the internal structures of the breast layer by layer sequentially. As you can see here, that this is a breast, this is a calcification, there is a fibroglandular tissue here, and there is a lesion here. So we can see all these lesions separately, okay, as we are taking very thin 1 millimeter cuts. So it shows us all these lesions, without superimposition, as we are seeing this in the 2D image, where you can see everything is superimposed, and in 3D, everything is seen separately and clearly. So DBT can be used for screening as well as diagnostic tools. In screening, it increases the cancer rate detection, reduces the recall rate, and for diagnostic purposes, lesion characterization, you can see the margins and borders clearly. You can see the exact size of the lesion. You can see the precise location. You can see the extent of the lesion. You can see associated findings and additional lesions. So, end of the day, basically, all of us, we want that, we want a very beautiful clarity of all the lesions. We want to see something beautiful, and we want to give some good results. We don't want to leave the small cancers. We want to pick up the small cancers, which DBT is definitely helping us. And finally, is able to save, once we pick up a small cancer which is not palpable and which has no node involvement, definitely we are giving patient a better prognosis, and DBT has helped us in that in a bigger way. Basically, high resolution information is what is given by tomosynthesis. Thank you very much.